Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a pink and purple Halo Glam eyeshadow look today. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the Anastasia eye primer. And obviously I've put way too much on. So I'm just blending that out with my finger, but I'm going to go ahead and use a brush to kind of blend everything out afterwards. I like using this because it makes a nice even base on the eyelids, especially when I'm going to be doing a, vibrant color and I really want that to pop and stand out. I'm on the hunt for a new eyeshadow palette with vibrant colors like these, but I'm going to settle on the James Charles palette today. But if you guys have any ideas, let me know. So I'm going to be going ahead and with those bright pinks and purples and using that lighter tone to set the eyes and set the eyeshadow primer, but going in with those pinks and purples to kind of intensify the look. For this, I'm using the bright pink shade as my transition shade, and I know it is really bright and really crazy to start out with a bright pink for a transition shade, but the nice thing about these pressed pigments is that you can really blend it out to whatever opacity you want. So I'm just kind of stamping that on the eyes, but I'm mixing between different brushes, so I'm using a fluffier brush or a more detailed point brush, but blending that out into my eyes as the transition shade. They do have a lighter pink in there, but I noticed that for a more vibrant look, I'm going to use those vibrant colors and blend it out and just add the intensity along the way. And this is where I'm using that fluffier brush to kind of blend that out into the eyes. I'm going in and making that halo shape around the eyes just because I already put the colors that I wanted on the outer and inner edges of my eyes, but using whatever is left over to kind of bring that in and give that whole halo eye effect. Once I got the transition shade down, I'm going to go ahead and go in with that pinky purple tone and kind of build up that intensity of it. And throughout the whole look, that's what I'm doing, is just building up the intensity, blending it out, and getting to the specific kind of look that I'm going for. So I'm using this slightly darker pink shade, but it's kind of on the purple side, and blending that into the areas where I put the inner and the outer eyeshadow more in the center of that instead of bringing it out into my transition area. I want to have it more intensified and not necessarily change the look. So as you see, I'm blending it back and forth, changing the intensity of it, but still having that halo eye look without having it look all crazy or like a smoky eye or anything like that. As you're getting it to the kind of style that you want, building up that intensity is very important to make it provide a pop of color, having a more vibrant look, and using it more towards the center of where you placed everything rather than going into the transition and kind of creating that little gradient effect. And I'm going in with a fluffy brush. I'm kind of going a little messily with that, but that's when you're adding more intensity. As you can see, I have the pinks and the purples going from transition as to when you get to the center part of where you placed it, and just going in and kind of building up to the kind of style and look that I'm trying to achieve. Once I get it to the kind of intensity that I want, I'm going to go ahead and go in along the transition with a clean brush just to make sure that it looks more blended along the eyes and not so harsh. And then I want to do my cut crease. So I'm going to go ahead and use that same Anastasia eye primer and just apply it in the center of the eyes, kind of giving that halo eye effect and kind of cutting it along your crease line, but then also making sure to blend the edges on the side so that it looks more put together and not so harsh. So you can see I'm going towards the edges, but also making sure to cut my crease so that everything looks, nice and cut and creates that halo eye effect. I use the side of it like how I'm doing now to kind of make it look more transitioned instead of having it look messily and just like a half circle on my eyes. That's not what I was trying to do. Instead of the traditional silver or gold, I wanted to add a pop of blue onto the eyes. It's kind of like an icy blue, but using that with my fingers, I feel like I get a better application on the eyelid whenever I do like a shimmery tone um, and applying it on the eyes. But I'm actually also going to go in with a brush afterwards just to clean up and make sure it's applied into the areas that I want, but also kind of packing it onto the eyelids so that it kind of brings that full effect. After applying the blue, I'm going to go ahead and use that purple shade to kind of blend into it so that it's not so harsh. I like doing that just so that everything looks more put together and everything with the line looks more cohesive and not so, you know, like sharp with the shapes. And it looks like a half circle on my eyes, so kind of bringing that and make it pull together for the eyeshadow look. So I'm also going on top of the eyes to kind of bring that intensity back because I did go over with the silver or the blue and it did kind of wash that out just a little bit. So adding that, blending that in with brush, but also making sure everything looks more cohesively put together and brings out the kind of look that I'm trying to achieve. Like I said, building up intensity, so going in with that darker purple just to make sure that the transition, even on the fact that I put on the blue, looks pulled together with the intensity that I put on with the rest of the eye. So bringing those purple tones back into the blue so that it looks more of the kind of look that I'm trying to achieve. Definitely don't do what I just did and use your fingers to get all of the excess fallout off. Use a makeup wipe or something just so you're not pulling on your eyes. But I want to pull this look together, and so I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Foundation. And this is what I use for whenever I do a eyeshadow look, just because it has more of that natural finish. And I do notice that whenever I have more of a natural finish on the skin, it just looks more like skin when I take the picture instead of it being so matte. I'm going in with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer as a way to brighten under the eyes, and I'm going pretty heavy on this to kind of emphasize the lightness under the eyes. Anything with um, Instagram makeup or YouTube videos, I want to make sure the colors are really popping through and they don't get washed out by the light. And I am using a ring light, so I am going a little heavier than I'd like. This is one of the cover effects is glitters, and I'm going to go ahead and link all the information down below about what I'm using, but I really wanted it to pop, so I'm using at the front of the eyes, a little bit on top, and then making sure that the look is pulled together with lashes. And I actually really love these lashes. These are the Kiss Luxtension lashes. I'm just measuring them on my eyes before going in with my mascara. I think I accidentally deleted the part where I did under the eyes, but I went ahead and brought those pink and purple tones underneath the eyes to kind of pull the whole look together. And of course, when you apply lashes, everything just looks so perfect. So I really like how everything turned out, making sure the bottom mascara is put on and going in with a shimmery highlight, and this time I'm using this purple highlighter to kind of bring those purple tones back into the face. And then that is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.